What's up everyone, it's Mr. Fantastic here, and in this video I'm gonna be comparing the Xiaomi Poco F3 with the Samsung Galaxy A52. Both of them cost around $350 maybe a bit more or less than that depending on your region. And you should really watch this video before you go out and buy any of these devices, because I think both of these phones are made for two very different kinds of people, but I will explain that later on. First off, let's talk about the build quality. The Galaxy A52 comes with a plastic back and a plastic frame with sort of this matte finish, which actually makes it look good in my opinion. However, the Poco F3 comes with a glass back and a plastic frame, which is a more premium option. Both have stereo speakers which are pretty good, but a few things you should know: that the Poco F3 does not come with the micro SD card slot, while the A52 definitely does, so you can expand its storage, which definitely gives A52 an edge over the Poco F3. And also, the Poco F3 does not have a headphone jack, while the A52 definitely does, which is kind of a bummer. Also, the Poco F3 does not have any sort of water resistance, while the A52 has IP67 water and dust resistance, which is actually pretty rare to see in mid-range phones. The Poco F3 also has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which also doubles as a power button, while the A52 has an in-display optical fingerprint scanner. Speaking of which, as for the displays, the A52 has a 6.5-inch 1080p AMOLED display with 90Hz of refresh rate, while the Poco F3 has a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate, which is a bit higher than the A52. Also, the Poco F3 has a brighter display than the A52, so 1300 nits versus 800 nits, which is actually quite noticeable. Both have Gorilla Glass 5 and punch holes in the middle housing the selfie cameras, which gives an immersive experience on both phones. Talking about the specs, we have 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage on the base models of both devices. Poco F3 has a 4520 mAh battery with 33 watt of fast charging, while the A52 has a 4500 mAh battery with 25 watt of fast charging. As for the processor, here is where the Poco F3 is just so much better than the A52. The A52 has Snapdragon 720G, while the Poco F3 has the Snapdragon 870G, which is even faster than the Snapdragon 865 Plus, which was the processor used in last year's flagship phones like the Note 20 Ultra and the Asus ROG Phone 3, which is just mind-blowing. And it is just a tad bit less powerful than the Snapdragon 888 used in phones like S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9. And it performs like a proper flagship phone for the price of a mid-ranger. The day-to-day usage, the gaming performance, all of it is just amazing, and it performs incredibly well, and it is the best performing phone for the price. Now, I'm not saying that the A52 has a bad processor. It has actually a decent processor. It performs real well for the price. It is just that the Poco F3's processor is just so much better than the A52. And also, just so you know that Poco F3 has 5G, while in order to get 5G on A52, you have to spend $100 more to get the 5G version, which also gets you a couple more features. Talking about the cameras, here is where the Poco F3 definitely has some compromises. It comes with a triple camera setup with a 48 megapixel main, 8 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 5 megapixel macro camera, and also a 20 megapixel selfie camera. And it performs just fine. It can produce decent photos in good lighting conditions, but sometimes the photos look soft and sometimes very over processed. While on the A52 you get a quad camera setup with a 64 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, 5 megapixel macro, and a 5 megapixel depth camera, and also a 32 megapixel selfie shooter on the front. Now, the main camera of the A52 has optical image stabilization, while the Poco F3 does not. And it is actually very useful in taking photos and videos. You get very stabilized videos and sharp photos even when there is a lot of movement. It produces good images with great dynamic range, and overall it's arguably one of the best phones when it comes to cameras in this price range. Talking about the software experience, here is also where the Poco F3 lacks a lot. It has a lot of bloatware and pre-installed apps, and there are just loads of ads in the UI, which just ruins the user experience in my opinion. And since these ads clog the RAM, it also makes the phone slower, but thankfully you can disable them in the settings. Poco F3 comes with MIUI 12, which is just fine, and it is not a pretty good skin in my opinion. On the other hand, the A52 comes with One UI 3, which is actually a really good skin. It doesn't have a lot of pre-installed apps and it delivers a cleaner and a more intuitive experience. In the end, I will say that both of these phones are made for two different types of users. If you are the type of guy who wants the best performing phone for this price, maybe you're a gamer or a power user and you don't take a lot of photos, then definitely go for the Poco F3. But if you are the type of guy who wants a well-rounded phone that gives a balanced and reliable user experience with a good display, good cameras, decent performance, great battery life and great software experience, then definitely go for the Samsung Galaxy A52. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about it. Drop a like in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe with that bell icon. I bring regular videos just like this one, and I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, be fantastic.